nangyari to?
Ay, sino may gawa nito?
Kapatid, nagawa mo si nanay. Kinuha ni Romualdo ang baril na pumatay sa kanyang kapatid at kanyang...
Ano naman yan, ma?
Ano nga nga?
Ano? Ma, tignan mo, oh. Mapuputulan na tayo, oh. 3 buwan na nakalipas.
Oh, kamusta na nanay mo?
Ay, saan ang baba niyo? Ay.
Pag bagong palabas, alam niya, pero pag bayad ng kuryente, hindi niya magawa.
Ano na namang dahilan mo, ma?
Sakaduhan ako.
Ganun kami dati sa pelikula. Hindi madaling magsulat.
Pwede ba kasi kumaganda itong sini na to ay acting ko?
Ano ba ito?
Hindi mo magigising yung taong hindi tulog.
Ma. Ma, nakikinig ka ba talaga? Baliw ka talaga. Kung hindi suntukan, pailan, sumbatan. Ibig sabihin ba yun? Magparamdam ka lang, ma.
Hoy! Tigil mo na yan!
Boom! There you go. That was the trailer for Leonor Will Never Die. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World and ShoPowSho. You know, I'm Kuya P, man. The Adobro, the Babinka Boy, the leader of the Hala Hala homies in the center. Gang. And this is a ShoPowSho exclusive. I have with me, as you see on the screen, Martika Ramirez Escobar, the writer-director of Leonor Will Never Die. I am so excited to have her on, y'all, because you just don't know. My friend Natasha Francisco, she went out to the Los Angeles Asian Pacific American Film Festival because of my great friends over at David Magdale and Associates. Shout out to them, and especially Vince, who's on this call as well right now. They hooked us up. We got to see this film amongst another great batch of films, but this one really struck a chord with us. So I'm so excited to have her on and just talk about this film that's arriving to theaters on November 25th. Martika, thank you so much for coming through. I'm gonna shoot off air horns because I'm just excited. You're not gonna hear it right now. It's in post, so I don't definitely. You are the best. Thank you for coming through today.
Thanks, Kuya P, Bibingka Boy. Thank you so much for having me here.
Definitely. So Leonor Will Never Die, arriving in theaters November 25th. But how did this German of an idea start? Take us way back to the beginning, if you don't mind, on just this love affair with film. And then there's just such a Filipino film that is just so artistically beautiful. Tell me how this germ infected your brain and made you put pen to page and start going to town on this script.
Well, I love the enthusiasm. And it makes me worry because I need to summarize 8 years of work in a short answer. So this film started 8 years ago, and I was at this film workshop in the Philippines. It's a filmmaking workshop, and our class lecturers were people who worked in the action industry in the 70s and 80s. But until today, they still dress up like action characters in those films, and it's just their fashion. So it made me and my friend wonder, what is it about action films that make us feel this way until today? And looking back, when I was growing up, our president was a former action star, and so there's that. And there's also, I guess, as a young filmmaker wanting to make my first film, there's that crisis of, is it worth it to make a film? Can we make a film? So there's that crisis of how we actually write our own lives as it's happening, and also how it's gonna develop through the years. So it's a mix of both the observation of our love for movies and that existential crisis. And in that 8 years, half of it was writing the script because I'm not a writer, I'm a cinematographer. And so it was hard to come up with a script. And half of it was just begging for people to support the film because it's expensive to make
Oh
any
yeah.
film. You know this, Kuya P. Even if it's a small film, it's still expensive. So we had a hard time finding that. And in that 8 years, the project changed a lot since we all change in 8 years, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
to keep that relationship with your work was a difficult thing to have and keep. But you'll see in the film that that's something. It's also its own story in the film.
Definitely. It's totally, as they say, a labor of love. And then when you
Mm.
finally get it out to the people, just to get that input to see how it invokes emotions and inspires people. And I'm telling you, you did it because you got our whole squad loving you. So congrats on that and sticking through it because it can be tough. I know wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So you came up with this amazing concept, essentially based on reality. Joseph Estrada, our former president, right? And just the situations around you. What made you fall in love? Because there's also this deep love. It's imbued into the scenes and the script. This love for filmmaking, and as a filmmaking student, what inspired you as a filmmaker? What made you want to get into filmmaking, if you don't mind? But as a sidetrack, before we further talk on Leonor, because it's part of it. What films did you fall in love with? What inspired you in certain ways?
I think more than the films that made me fall in love with filmmaking, it's really the camera that started my interest in capturing life in little pictures that you can replay and share and cut. So when I was a young girl, I would often borrow my family's camera and take little videos of our pets and my toys and my family. And it was something I naturally enjoyed. So I think the camera was my favorite toy, and I was lucky enough that my family allowed me to use that expensive thing. And so when I was in grade school and high school, I would often be the camera girl, the one who would cover events, take photos. So I think it's that love for the camera that drew me into wanting to become a filmmaker. And then I took up film in university, and I realized that I really like making films. Not even directing. I like the process of gathering people together, talking about an idea, and trying to execute the idea. I also like doing research. And what's best is that when you make a film, you get to capture all of these and keep it in one form. And it's so nice to just see that years later. It's so nice to be able to play it in a screen bigger than ourselves. So there's that, I don't know, that fascination. And I also like how it's like magic.
Oh
You can
yeah.
watch and it can make you feel different things. And I guess it's that experience that I want to capture as well in Leonor.
I love it. I completely agree. All right. So you think cinematically as a cinematographer, right? Was there a particular so you started working on this project. It was a labor of love. It took a while. I'm curious what was like the first scene that was in your head, part of the
Ah.
film. Like what came to you first and you really got excited when you finally were in production and getting it on wax, if you will.
Oh, that's nice. What's the first image? There are two images. The first one is an old lady scavenging through her baul. You know what a baul is? A chest, digging through old scripts. Because I feel that I have so many projects, both written and unwritten, that I want to make that I couldn't make because it's expensive, it's too difficult in many ways. So it's that image of a lady scavenging through her past work that was never completed. And then another image is a grandma falling from the sky. And those are the two images that I were strong images when I was starting to write the script. But when you see the film, you'll realize that it's a bit random. So you'll notice there are scenes that aren't connected to anything else in the film, but they're mostly based on my personal dreams. So you'll find a snail, you'll find a brain scan, you'll find random little bits of I guess dreamlike images that aren't so random because they're based on dreams, and dreams operate as if they're random images as
Yeah,
well. So
I
I
love it.
think that's something I just tried to do, but people can relate to it in a way that they know how dreams operate. So
I love it. I love it. And I dig the overall style. You could just see that love for that old school kind of like I'm an older guy. I'm like in my 40s. And so I can see exactly. I'm the big brother. So like I can see the time period love for cinema and just amazingly shot, just beautiful. So I could just gush on your cinematography all the way through it. But I want to talk about this cast because the film, you know, works when it has an amazing cast. And as you see, I have your lead right behind me, Leonor. Tell me about the actress that you chose to play Leonor and everyone else that you brought into this project to make this film walk.
I also have my actor behind me. So he's right here. I'm with my line producer and my actor here. And yeah, can you wave? It's Bong. He's Rudy.
Hi, thank you.
he also has Tita Sheila behind him in the background.
Oh, awesome. Hello, everybody. I love it.
Hello, Dow. It's just funny. Okay, so casting was difficult. We sort of, I think, looked through everyone we knew. It took us 20 days, 20 casting days. I would invite people to read at home, in the office, over Zoom. My producer would have her different, she had a different leg of, having casting script reads. And we ended up with the best people because they're people who can make the characters feel real when they read the script. So Bong, the actor behind him, I saw him behind me. I saw him in a film before, so he was one of the last people we asked to read for the film. And just when I saw him before, I loved him. And then when I asked him to read, he just made the thing feel real. So he was there.
Amazing.
And Sheila was the same, but I didn't know Tita Sheila from before. So she was recommended by my producers, and we saw her in a play. And when I met her in real life, she also possessed a personality that I think was very similar, and it felt familiar because that's how I imagined Leonor. So I think it's really their familiarity with how I imagined the characters that made me want to ask them if they'd like to join the film. And they're mostly theater actors as well. So we really did our best to find the right people. And most of the extras in the film are my family and friends, since we didn't have
love it.
It's
That's a
really
true
a
independent
community
production,
thing.
right?
You know what I mean? It's you're struggling, you need help, you post on Facebook who wants to join, who wants to help, and then you'll realize there will be people, not a lot, but there will be people who are willing to just show up, and you'll make your scene with a lot of extras.
Definitely. That's love. That's what we do as Filipinos. It's beautiful. I love it.
It
It's
is
amazing.
not. Tapos they would go there. They know they're not gonna, be paid loads for that.
Yeah.
Baka
As long as you have
food lang.
food. As long as you have food. And
Food
that's how
lang.
we show love anyway. We show love through food. So as long as there's food there, we're gonna be okay. So that's all that matters.
Naman. Totoo.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so amazingly cast, beautifully shot. Talk to me about production. As a filmmaker, again, like myself, I always learn something different. When you think you know everything, you don't, right? So this was your first project, right? Your first big project. What was that like for you? From a student to now making this project, what would you say is the biggest lesson you learned while creating Leonor Will Never Die?
Biggest lesson. So siguro I would often say it's follow your heart. It will be hard to stick to what you think is right, but also understand that the people who have suggestions or are trying to make the film better or trying to compress it, they all have good intentions. Well, at least with the team I had, but it was difficult for me to accept that because I was a stubborn young filmmaker. I always thought that, oh, this is the only way to do this, but it's not. So I learned that, and the film eventually became that, about learning how to compromise and collaborate with people. And so the other lesson I've learned is that more than anything, the most important thing that I also personally want is just a happy set. So we won't have the resources we've dreamt of that we need, but to just treat people as good people and as friends and as family just creates an atmosphere that is, worth it for us to go through all of this, even if we're not gonna get rich from it, to just enjoy the experience of making, collectively working on something we think we want to exist in at some point. So
I
it's really this, yun nga, a labor of love siya, na friendship film, na community project, na the film is also about that
love
itself.
that.
Which I didn't expect. I didn't think that that would be one of the sub topics, themes of the film. It just happened when we completed the film.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And I'm so with that. I agree wholeheartedly, completely with those statements. I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do. I'm sure you as well. You know, if we make money off of it, cool, and it helps.
Lucky.
But just the ability to do what we do is just such a blessing, because most people don't have that opportunity. So it's truly just an amazing blessing that we can do that. So congrats to you. I love that. But you're going to be rising. You're going to be getting money, girl. You're going to get everything, because this was the launch of you. This is the start. You're going to be so big, you're not going to come on ShoPowSho anymore. You're not going to, who is that guy? I don't know
Don't
him.
say that, Ricky. I'm still
I
begging
want the best
now.
for you, though. I just want the best for you. So
Thanks,
you're always
Ricky.
welcome for me. So again, congratulations. You finished the film, and you're here with me. It toured the festival circuit. It won awards, and now it's going to be available on November 25th in theaters.
Yes,
Tell me about this ride now. Tell me, post the film, post-production, what did the crew and cast think of the film when they finally got to see it? And what do you feel with all of the accolades and reception you're now getting about it and your journey moving forward? I know that's a lot there, but yeah.
What I'm most happy about is that we're all still friends after the screening, and we all want to still be friends. So every time we have a screening in the Philippines, we meet up. They're present in the screenings. They like talking about the film. They're proud of the film. And that's so special to me, because we didn't have an easy time making it. So to just have them still extend their love from shooting, from after the shooting, for us to keep that relationship that even grew. So we began as strangers, and now we're like family, we're like friends. That's like something more important than the film itself. And that's what I like. And now I'm traveling with them. It's a different set of people per trip. So I don't know, the film is growing as well. I feel, and I realize that in every screening, the response is different. It depends on the time of day, the city, the country, what type of cinema it is. And I thought that the film ended with just exporting the film, but it's not ending there. It's actually growing and growing, and I don't know where it's going to go next. So it excites me. And I never expected any of this. That's why it's extra special. And it's not just, that's not only me. Everyone in the team never expected us to get this far. So we feel so lucky and so grateful.
I love it. I love it. Well, you deserve it, as do your cast and your crew, everybody that put forth this effort, this labor of love. We as the fans out here appreciate it. And as a Filipino, so proud.
Yeah.
So proud. So excited. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. So that's gonna be my last question. Is obviously you're in marketing mode. We're pushing and we're promoting the film, but I know you're a creative. You're still putting pen to pad. What can we expect on the next project for Martika Ramirez Escobar?
Well, the most urgent one is we want to have a successful self-distribution method process. That's what we're trying to do now, and just with that, we're looking for creative ways on how to distribute the film in the Philippines through a non-commercial release. So that is very difficult, but we also decided to pursue that method, because if we had a commercial theatrical release in the Philippines, we would just face empty cinemas, and empty cinemas make us sad. So we're looking for ways. What we're trying to do is to bring the film closer to people, so they can book cinemas. We can screen the film in those small cinemas, and then just have it spread around. So it's friends inviting friends, and having this partnership with an art house cinema that's hopefully like booked throughout the year. So that's our next move, and it's difficult because we can choose the path of having a distributor in the Philippines, but we decided to do this since it's more aligned with how we made the film. itself, which is very do-it-yourself. So we're doing the marketing materials, we're doing the emailing, we're responding to people buying tickets on Instagram and Messenger, and I like it. It's hard, but I like it. And for the next projects, I actually dream of something smaller, something more personal, something that probably a crew of 10 people, half the money, just because I think that when the budget is smaller, you have a smaller team, you get closer to the work, and that's something I'd like to explore more. Which is probably like the contrast of what I could do for the next, but it depends. That's how I feel now. I just like to be more closer to the work.
I feel that, and I love that, and I adore that, and I understand that again as a filmmaker. Wow, I'm excited for you, and I'm just gonna say, while it may be small, while you may want your next project to be small, Hollywood is gonna be calling. I know it, and they're gonna give you a budget to just do whatever you want. So whether you make it small or you make it big, I know you're going to be a superstar, and I feel that wholeheartedly. And I'm currently, I know what you mean about distribution right now. That's heavy in my shoes right now, and actually what I'm like to see happen, because I know this is again launching November 25th, y'all, in theaters. Yes. My film is that I'm tied to, Lumpia with a Vengeance, is a Filipino film, Filipino superhero that fights with Lumpia. We're arriving in theaters September 30th at the end of the month. I'm hoping when it arrives in October, we could do like and it's still in theaters. Hopefully they'll do like a back-to-back with your film and my film. It'd be exciting to see. Yes. So, if anything, I might see if I can get some of the Filipino orgs in my area to make that happen. I don't know. I'm going to try and I'll reach out to you. We'll see if we can do that. Because I think it would be great as a double feature. It'd be a wonderful double feature. It plays well together, I think. But
the title itself, I think, plays well together. Lumpia with a Vengeance?
Yes. I'll hit you up with that. And I'll reach out to Vince. I want
to watch it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I would love for you to check it out.
Screen in the Philippines?
It was made in California.
But have you screened in the Philippines?
I don't know if we've screened it there yet. But I'll have to check with those guys. I'm the only East Coast producer on the team. Everybody's West Coast. And I came on board because I'm actually the writer on the ongoing comic book that's leading to the third film. And that I'll have a more heavy hand in. So a lot of projects, a lot of Filipino love. And I just love seeing what you're doing. It's all about creating our own stories. And that's what it's all about. And so I'm just excited to talk to you, Martika. Everybody, y'all. Martika Ramirez Escobar, Leonor Will Never Die, opening in theaters November 25th. Actually, one last thing. Are there any socials or anything so people can follow you, subscribe to you? I'll include all those links in the description below. Are there just any methods for people to just follow your career and support what you're doing?
Yay. You can support us by sharing the trailer around. That's our goal right now. And if you have questions or if you've seen the film and would just like to ask things about the film, we're available. I mean, you can talk to me through our Instagram page and Facebook Messenger page. Facebook page, it's also me just replying to people. So if you want screenings wherever you are, even just at your home or your school or office, we also offer that now, since we're trying to be committed by screening only in cinemas and not online. So, yeah, thanks so much for the support, Kuya P. And I'm excited to see your film.
Oh, definitely. I will be in touch. Vince, we got to connect after this. So, everybody, please. Martika Ramirez Escobar, Leonor Will Never Die, in theaters November 25th. I'm Kuya P. This is ShoPowSho. I love y'all. Thank you for checking in. Mahal kita, salamat. Martika, everybody. Leonor Will Never Die, November 25th. ShoPowSho, your boy Kuya P. We're out of here.
Salamat.
Salamat. All right, there we go. There's a cut.